Good morning. Good morning, you guys, and happy Taco Tuesday, aka Q&A Tuesday, aka Tequila Tuesday, aka
Good Tuesday.
Good Tuesday to you. Good morning, you guys. It's Q&A day, so let's say good morning and get right into it.
I have to express a real struggle that I have.
Okay.
Every single morning. And I want to know if you struggle with this too. I don't think so, because you're not doing a live every morning that I know of. But I am taller than Sarit. And when we set up the camera, if I'm sitting up straight and part of my head gets cut off, but if I raise the camera up, then Sarit's way down there, and that's not fun.
Boogie style.
Oh, so we just compromise.
What are you compromising? I don't get it.
I come down here. Come down. People also think that I'm like 5'9".
She's not a 5'9". I'm just tiny, you guys.
I'm normal size. She's fun size.
Yeah, I'm just tiny.
All right. Good morning.
I'm 2 inches away from technically being a midget. Let's just put it that way. Sure.
My almost legal midge. Okay.
Whatever.
Good morning, Molly and Andy and
Jerry and Emily and Brandy.
Wow, all the E's. Nikaya, Michelle, Jerry, Daisy, Danny, Tina E, Janetti.
Wait, is that a new name? Tina,
Where?
hold on, Tina.
Oh, I was just totally
Tina
thinking the other
Reed,
Tina.
if this is your first call, then please drop a comment and tell us where you're from.
Or maybe Tina Ribe.
Or Ribe. And also, how do you pronounce your last name?
Is there 2 I's? There sure is.
Ribe.
Jeanette, Stephanie, Lauren, Amelia.
Hold on, go up. What did I miss? Go down, go down. Oh, it was Daisy, okay.
My wife is 6 inches taller than me. How many am I? You're
4.
2? Yeah. Jerry.
I
would love to stand next to Serena.
Andy,
5'10".
I'm half an inch taller than you, and that would probably relate on.
What do you mean half an inch taller? She's
I'm
5'10".
5'1".
She's 5'10".
Oh, I thought she said 5'1".
Don't ever miss a zero.
Okay, I want to tell you guys something.
Especially in a bank account, never miss a zero.
My ex was 6'1", you guys. Do you know what? Like with the height difference where I reached up to her boobs. I was like perfect height for her boobs. But it was so weird.
You're like, hey, baby.
Because in order for us to kiss, she had to like bend down, like legit. And I'm like, that's how you know that it wasn't meant to be. I'm like,
that's weird.
What the fuck?
It could be. I don't know. Mimi.
Good morning, Mimi.
Hello.
Is this your first call? If so, drop a comment and tell us where you're from.
We're gonna get to your guys' questions eventually. Good morning, Ronnie. Ooh, Jacqueline.
That's another new name.
Jaqueline in the house.
Drop a comment. Tell us where you're from. Iowa.
It's
pronounces
Rebe.
Rebe.
That's cool.
Okay.
Oh, and Maddie. Wow, we got a lot of new faces up in the house. Hi, Maddie. Where are you from, girlfriend? Emily Wolf. There's a lot of shorties in the house. Y'all can hang out with Sarit in the short corner.
Yep.
Hi, Heather.
Fun size candy. Just kidding.
Oh my gosh. I don't know what face I made, but somebody thought it was funny. Emily thought it was funny.
Oh my gosh, Danny.
I dated a guy with 6'6". Good morning, Kayla.
Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Okay.
Cool.
Good morning, Dawn.
Dawn Olsen. Is that a new name?
And Crystal. Wow, I'm just going to give a blanket good morning to everybody whose first time it is and everybody who's not first time it is.
Yes,
we
this
love
is
all of you.
amazing.
Okay. we have some questions to answer. So if you're new and you don't know, on Tuesdays we do Q&A. And if you have a question you'd like to ask in regards to fitness, nutrition, lifestyle, movement,
finances,
nutrition,
relationship.
Sure. Then there is a link in the announcements at the very top of the Erin Sarit Facebook group page that you can submit your question. It's easy peasy, baby. All right. So question number 1 is from Jessica Woods from South Carolina. Okay. I need help with nutrition. I don't understand how to eat properly to achieve my goals. I mean, what the hell is a macro and is it important? Great question. I work out 5 to 6 days a week. I'm getting cut and getting muscle. Great. I realize nutrition is the key to get me to the next level. How do I figure this out? Is there a course? Would you recommend a meal delivery service? I get tired of relying on other people for answers all the time. Any advice? Well, you're relying on another couple of people for another answer. So here's the first suggestion is find somebody who has been where you want to go, or find somebody who's been where you are, who's traveled the journey that you're on, and who is where you want to be, and who has been there consistently in good times and bad times, and trust that person or those people or that group only.
Well, however, in her question, I can feel a frustration on Jessica's end.
Yes.
But something that, she didn't mention in the question that would have been really important is, girlfriend, what is your goal? Now, I can only assume it's weight loss, but we need to be specific. So here's the thing, you guys.
She said, I'm getting cut and getting muscle. So I would think that she's already maybe a little bit on the lean.
But if somebody's saying I'm getting cut and getting muscle, then you would think that they're making progress, right?
Progress.
So here's the thing, where do you want to go? You have to be very clear to where you want to go. It's just when you get in your car, you know where you want to go. You have to be very specific with regards to where you want to go, because here's the thing. There's a lot of information out there. A lot of people are going to mislead you, right? For one, you need to know, what is it that I want? Okay? And then for 2, you need to understand, what is the sustainable plan that will work for me? So from the sounds of it, okay, so you talked about a meal delivery service. Yeah, you can do that. The question is what is your complication? Do you need to get better at time management so that you can prepare your own meals? You guys, something that I challenge everybody to do is, unless, let's say, it's a extremely complicated week, you never want to rely on another service to basically design your food.
Unless it's a professional, personal chef who knows what your goals are and you have clearly communicated how you want them to make your food.
Yes. Because here's the thing. Meal prep services, 99% of them, okay?
Garbage.
All they care about is retaining you as a customer. We're just like a restaurant, right? So they're gonna think about, how can I make the food that's the most cost effective? Okay, so the quality of it is not going to be very high. It could be, but for the most part, it's not. Also, people who cook your food don't know what are your standards for the most part, okay? Please don't think that I'm generalizing and every company is like that. However, a lot of meal prep companies have come to us and have said, we want to work with you. And we're like, okay, well, we need to try your stuff out first. It's we get the meals for one, way too carb dense, way too fucking fatty and oily. There's no vegetables whatsoever. Vegetables are a side. I'm no, it doesn't cut it. Is it better than, going to lunch at Wendy's? 100%. But, is it helping somebody like me to sustain and improve my goals? 100% no. And I remember we even ended up giving those meals away to somebody else because we were so dissatisfied with it.
So I have my own 2 cents on meal prep companies. They have to make it taste good or you're not going to keep buying it, right? So in order to make things taste good, Americans, because our palates are so fat and sugar, not dependent, but used to, familiar, then they've got to put fat in it to make it taste better. And normally the fat portion is more than somebody needs. Is it bad fat? Not necessarily, but do you actually know? Question number one. Then they don't make a lot of money doing meal prep service. We did it. We hired somebody to make the meals, to whatever, get people their meals. You don't make a lot of money doing meal delivery or meal prep service. So what do? Cut back on portions. And that then the meal just isn't big enough. And it's like, for the amount of money you pay per one meal, it will be like, between what, $9 and $11 or $10 and $12. And you're like, oh yeah, that's better than getting a meal at a restaurant that would be 15 to 20, whatever. But the portion that you're getting is just not worth it. Mm-hmm. And so then it leaves you still kind of hungry, dissatisfied, and you're not sure of what that company's standard is. And do they know your goals? Some meal prep companies have, where you put in your goals. This turned into a total meal prep answer, which is good because we haven't talked about it before. But some companies will have you, okay, I want to lose weight. Okay, this is my dietary preference. I don't eat meat. I'd rather have this than that, blah, blah, blah. So they make it ish to your standard. But what oils are they cooking with? What fillers are they cooking with? What other hidden things are they putting in there that you're unaware of?
What salt are they using?
Yeah.
Right? So, there's...
People have been on meal prep company services and gained weight and not understanding why. It's very frustrating.
Yeah.
But when you make your own food, you know what's in it.
Most meal prep companies are owned by chefs or people who have a skill at making food taste really good and make it look presentable, right? Like having, skill with regards to helping you to achieve, whether it's aesthetic goals, longevity goals, that sort of thing. Like that is an entire other realm, right? So something that we tell all of our students is, you want to do everything that you can. In order for you to be successful in anything in life, you wanna have as much control as possible with regards to every variable. Obviously, when it comes to nutrition, in order for you to have the most amount of control, you have to be in charge of making the food. And that's why, like, a lot of people who are like, my significant other makes all the food. Look, unless, they're on board with each and every strategy that you have to follow, your significant other, though they might be supportive, they could be fucking up your goals and you don't even know it because they just don't know what the standards are. Okay, mm-hmm. So remember, you have to be clear on your goals. Okay, and you want to have as much control as possible. Okay, especially in the food department, you can train all day long. Okay, but if you don't know how to eat, you're either going to plateau or you're just not going to get anywhere. You might not gain as much weight as you would have not, because there is a caloric deficit when you work out. However, you have to be in control of your food. So something that you want to make sure that you're doing is you have to hone in on learning the skill of meal prep. However, there's so much that goes into it. So Jessica, I think it would be best for us to probably have a conversation and see whether, for one, get to learn about your goals, because we don't know what they are.
Yeah, when you say I don't understand how to eat properly to achieve my goals, we can't help you if we don't know what your goals are. What if you want to bulk up?
Yeah.
That's going to look a lot different than if you want to get leaner. It's also going to look a lot different if you weigh 250 pounds and you're trying to weigh 150 pounds, or if you weigh 150 pounds and you want to weigh 140 pounds. It looks very different. Or if the weight doesn't even matter, which would be more of a 150 to 140 pound case. The weight normally doesn't matter at that point. It's more like, I just want to tighten. But where are you starting? Where do you want to go? What have you done in the process? What things have you tried that have worked or have not worked? Mm-hmm. And how do we need to adjust? Those are the things that we would need to know.
Yeah.
What the hell is a macro, and is it important? Well, they're important because you have to have them to survive. A macro is a shortened term for macronutrient, And a macronutrient is a large nutrient that is necessary for life, and they are proteins, carbs, and fats.
Alcohol too.
Alcohol is a macronutrient as well. But I would call it a macro not nutrient.
Macros are not the solution. Macros, however, are something that you have to be familiar with in order to, achieve whatever goal it is. Okay? Like, the problem with most things out there is that, it's all based on macros, and it overcomplicates the situation because it turns it into an algorithm. However, whatever it is that you want to do well within life, you have to know definitions that are familiar with it. Just like last night, whoever is in the inner circle, right? Like we talked about the concept of significance. Whenever we talk about any specific concept, we define it immediately, right? Because when you define something, now you're like, okay, now I can understand what this is all about, and then we can go into the details. However, knowing your macros and applying that is a completely different story. So Jessica, to me, it sounds like you have good intentions. It sounds as if you are committed. Like, if you weren't committed, you wouldn't train 5 to 6 times a week. However, it sounds like there's a lot of things that you have to learn, and also, who do we need to become in the process in order to get there, right? So just make sure that you figure all of that out. We would love to have a conversation with you to see if you're a good fit for the inner circle,
or anything that we offer.
Yeah, or the academy. You said, is there a course? There's a lot of things that we can do to help.
There's a shit ton
right?
of things.
Like, and we'd be happy to. It definitely sounds like you do need the help so that you can gain some clarity, and take action on it. So please reach out to us. Tammy, if you're in the room, maybe shoot Jessica a message. And
okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Hopefully that helps Jessica and everyone else. That's a really great question.
That was a really great
several questions in a question. Okay, Mackenzie from Missouri. As a scientist, here we go. Mm-hmm. I'm a total data nerd, and therefore data gathering has been a huge part of my journey thus far. Knowing my progress or lack thereof helps me to stay consistent with my efforts. However, I've noticed some data are more valuable than others. In your opinion, what are the most and least valuable fitness and nutrition data to collect on a regular basis?
Great.
What a phenomenal question.
Great.
Does anybody want to know the answer to that? Like, what do I need to fucking pay attention to, and what does not matter at all?
Go.
No.
Go.
I was thinking about their conversation about salt, and the whole time I could just keep thinking about, like, if you're not consistent, the type of salt is not your problem. Always, always, always. Here's the data that you need to first look at. Am I consistent?
Yes. Targets.
Data number one.
Target.
Big picture. Big picture. Am I even consistent at doing the things and the behaviors and eating the foods that are going to help me get to my goals? Mm-hmm. Or am I consistent at eating like a garbage can?
Or am I more consistent at being inconsistent?
Yeah. So that's the first question. That's the first piece of data. I don't know if it has a numeric value.
Yes.
You want to collect it.
I mean, in the inner circle, we turn that into numeric values so you can track your output. But really, like, you have to have a standard, and whatever your goal is, we don't know what your goal is, right? But you have to do, some things in order to get ahead. Obviously, with anything in life. If you want to get a result, you have to do something in order to get there, right? So tracking your targets over a period of time would be by far, big picture, the most important thing, right? Targets like nutrition, however, like, you'll have to get clear on your goal, right? And you'll have to get clear on what are going to be your targets in order to get there.
What are the actions? So there's a difference. So goals are the big picture outcome. Targets are the daily actions that you need to take to get to that goal.
Yeah.
Checkpoints are like markers along the way to the goal.
Yeah.
Right? So you set a goal, you set your checkpoints, and you set your targets. And targets are your to dominate list.
Mm-hmm.
We don't do to-do lists here.
Yeah.
So daily actions are your targets. So based off of that,
yeah, you're gonna have to come up with a series of targets. Like for an example of a target is workout, right? However, over a period of time, how many workouts will you have to accomplish over a period of time in order to keep on moving forward, right?
For example, if you set a 6-month goal,
yeah,
and sorry, I just want to go up in that. If you set a 6-month goal and you have a 2-month checkpoint, within those 2 months, if you want to work out, let's say 4 days a week, how many workouts will you need to have accomplished within the first month, within the second month, right? And you can assess and reassess as you go. Like, am I doing, this is just one daily target, right? But am I doing the things I need to be doing to move myself closer to the goal?
yeah,
And you can calculate, those are the things that make more sense to calculate. Now, of course, going back to the last question, if we're talking about macronutrients and quantity of food per individual, per goals, you know.
The further along you are, the more detailed your targets will have to be. The most important thing that you have to do is focus on consistency, right? And that's why, like, I keep on telling you guys, like, for 90% of you, like, macros are not the fucking problem. Weight loss is really simple, but weight loss is hard. You know why? Because in order to achieve weight loss and sustain it, you have to be consistent over a long period of time.
Weight loss is hard because our brains are fucked up.
Yeah. What if let's say we set a standard of 5 workouts per week, right? So for your 6-month benchmark, how many workouts would you have to do? Let's see.
4 per
5
week.
times 26. 130 workouts, right? I guarantee each and every one of you guys that you're gonna have at least 30 days out of those 130 days where you won't want to work out. You know what? Intuitively, we all know what to do, but why do we not do it? It's all in here.
It starts with discipline, really.
It all starts with discipline.
It really starts with discipline.
And that's why, like, you know, all of our military people in the program are fucking crushing it, because something that the military teaches very well, or like, you know, the real athletes, you know, they have discipline, right? Like they have to show up to practice when they didn't want to. You know, with the military, it's like you have no way out. Right? So like, you know, when you develop a certain level of discipline, you're able to follow through with something. And then honestly, working out is the easy part, right? How about your food, right? Like you have to get specific with regards to your nutrition targets. You know, for some of you, depending on where you're at, it could be as simple as just start to eat my breakfast so I can start boosting my metabolism, or have a vegetable in every meal. Do that for 130 days, because that's going to incorporate to a lot of other things. Okay, in order for me to have a vegetable in every meal, now I have to make sure that I'm consistent with my meal planning and preparation. When I go out to eat, I have to make sure that I'm doing a better than job instead of eating like a piece of shit, right? Again, it's all about who you become in the process. Weight loss is really simple, but weight loss is hard because weight loss requires time. And that's why anytime you hear, you know, you're gonna get to your dream body in 3 weeks. No fucking way, that's a lie.
Yeah, so it doesn't necessarily require a lot of time per day.
No, it doesn't.
But it requires patience, I think, is a better word than time.
Yes.
Right? Like in time, you will reach your goals if you are consistent and if you are patient enough to understand the scale's not going to move very far in a week. Or even
and you
2
should
weeks.
not weigh yourself every single week. Because if you are, you're focusing on the wrong thing.
Okay, so let's talk about a metric to not give a shit about. Is perhaps the scale. Now, in some cases, the scale is something that will be of value. to you. However,
the scale is good for checkpoints. That's it.
in most cases, it just kind of fucks you up. But we're not saying, oh, the scale's terrible for everyone. In some cases, it's necessary and valuable, but not all the time, not every day, not per week. 0.2 pounds. This is funny. We had, yesterday we were talking about like the something 0.4, and I was like, nobody really needs to be caring about point however many pounds because you fluctuate anyways. And then I literally was talking with somebody who sent in an assessment who said their weight was something 0.2.
Oh my God.
And they had watched the espresso episode. It was really funny. Anyways, but metrics or data to collect that are important or not important, I mean, it really also depends on your goals. If you want to be
where you're at in the journey.
If you want to be as strong as you possibly can be, then the weights that you lift, will be important. If that's not your goal and you just want to get stronger and you want to feel awesome, like the weights maybe don't really matter if they're going up or not, because every day is also going to be different in that regard. You're not always. Yesterday, I ran a mile in 10.5 minutes, and I'm not laughing at running a mile in 10.5 minutes. I'm laughing at the fact that if I really wanted to, and on a good day, could run a mile in like 7 something. So for me, it's relative, right? It's always relative. So I'm not making fun of the 10.5 minute miler, because some people, that's fucking amazing, because your mile used to be 12 minutes. Shit, that's awesome.
Some people couldn't even run a mile.
Yeah, some people couldn't even go without stopping.
Yeah.
Right? So it's more in the sense that every single day is different. Your energy levels are different. Your strength is different. Women, if you're going to start your period soon, like your strength is going to go down.
Your mood
for a short period
your
of
mood
time.
is different. What makes you think that the weight's going to be the same?
Right.
Because that's what you hope it will be. That's why the scale only matters for checkpoints. I guarantee each and every one of y'all, if for 130 days you were to be consistent, don't you think that the scale will fucking show it?
Jerry, I'm totally not making fun. It's all relative and it's all about progress, and I know that you know that, but it's the same with bodies. It's all relative in how you want to look and what makes you feel awesome.
Yeah.
For one, it's not always the six-pack that makes you feel awesome about yourself. It's a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah,
it's
what you need. It's what you needed to do in order to get there.
So somebody like myself, I could say, oh my God, I don't have a six-pack, I'm so fat, and I can feel this way about myself, that somebody who's, maybe 300 pounds feels about themselves, but it's all relative.
Yeah.
It's all relative, and it's all your own journey. And so I hope that we answered that. It's kind of a hard question to answer.
But from a food standpoint, I'll tell you, from a food standpoint, something that I see most health conscious people, like people in our group, do that is actually like it doesn't matter as much as like track calories and macros. Dude, like I don't care if the other day one of our clients, I'm like, send me the labels of something, they send me the calories. I'm like, I don't care about the calories, I need to see what goes into it, right? So the ingredients will matter most, and you need to understand what specifics behind the ingredients you have to look into, because when you eat food, there is a reaction in your body. So before you eat each and every meal, and I don't care where you're at in your journey, this is a thought process that each and every one of you guys need to adopt, is ask yourself the question, what does it do to my body? Like, I guarantee you, if half the people who went to McDonald's asked themselves the question instead of, eating burgers and fries like assholes, would ask, what is it doing to my body? Right? Like, they would probably stop eating it. Right? So, like, by looking at the ingredients, we're able to see what something does to our body. Let's say, if a creamer, I want to give the example of a creamer.
Wait, no. This is a perfect example, because you said eating burgers and fries like an asshole. Eating burgers and fries doesn't make you an asshole, but there's a massive difference between eating a McDonald's burger and fries and eating a burger that you cooked that is grass-fed, organic, that you made, and fries that you cut the potatoes and you air fried them. That's very, very different.
Yes. And the reason why you're going out of your way to do it is because you're probably asking yourself the question, what is it doing to my body? Right? So it's the intention behind it. Like so many of you guys, like a really good example is because I see like in so many comments or, you know, in the assessments of like people in the inner circle, like when we hop on our first call and it's, you know, like I love coffee. Okay, like what do you drink with your coffee? This fat-free coffee made creamer. Okay, I see you're health conscious because you're going for labels like fat-free, sugar-free, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, I'm like, have you looked at the ingredients of that shit? L-Malta, 5, color, whatever.
Ceto, cola.
Look, if it was made in a lab, it takes a lab to break it down. Right? So you're obviously, like if you're buying something like a fat-free coffee mate, and by all means, it's not to call you out. I used to be one of those people too.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Sugar-free all the way.
I feel totally okay calling all of you guys out because this is me talking to myself 5 years ago. Right?
I used to pump that sugar-free syrup shit into every coffee.
I know, I remember. Even when we started dating, you brought that shit into the house.
Well, yeah, and that was like almost 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So,
Not even.
4.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway, 4 and 8 months.
That's gay.
Who's counting? You're gay.
I am.
You're gay. Okay, so there was somebody asked a question about protein bars that we did not list on our food quality guide, if you have our food quality guide. That's because most of the, well, did we? Yeah, I don't think we listed because we tried to list.
We listed protein powder because they're all different. They're all different.
Most of them are shitty. I saw somebody made a comment about Kirkland bars. Yeah, so if you've heard of a Quest bar, it's basically the Quest bar, the better version of a Quest bar. We found Quest bars had the best taste of protein bars that we had tried for the least amount of like sugar, whatever, right? The best macronutrients.
The best macronutrient
profile, yes, like ratios for the best taste. However, then we discovered the Kirkland bar, which is Costco's version, and it has better ingredients, better texture, and the same and very similar macronutrient profile.
Yeah, well, texture is relative, right? However, ingredients, that's not relative. That's just science.
I mean, if you like eating bricks.
Right, and that's why, you know, Quest bars are not on the top of our list. Quest bars are one of the better ones for you, but if you look at the ingredient list, it's like a paragraph. Right?
You get the food guide from purchasing one of our programs. It's in various different programs. Mm-hmm. So that's where the food guide comes from for people who are asking. Yes.
Okay. I hope that helps. That helped, Mackenzie. That's a great question.
Okay, we got time for one more. Okay. Ooh, Danica from Vancouver,
Washington.
There's from Vancouver, Washington, the state. Okay. Things to do / that you do that bring joy to your life and align with your goals. Okay, that's not a question. Life has plenty of needs, chores, work demands.
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes on this journey to become badass, it's exhausting.
Yes.
True. Takes a lot of mental focus to make change.
100%.
True. How are people recharging and not sabotaging or triggering old habits?
Oh.
Great. Okay. What do you do to take a break from the hustle that brings simple joy to your life?
Danica, I want to give you a hug. That is one of, like...
That's a very sweet question. It's like, I'm hustling so hard and I'm fucking tired. That's what it sounds like.
And here's the thing. It's true.
Yeah.
Like I said, weight loss is simple. Being a badass, it's simple, but it's hard, right? Because it requires consistency.
It's hard until it's not. It's hard until it's not.
Right.
Is it hard for you?
No, but on Saturday it was hard for me. And I had a mental, like, breakthrough.
Some days, yes, are hard. But it's not like every day. It's like, it sounds like I'm hustling, I'm busting my ass, I'm putting in all this effort and work, and it's hard and I'm exhausted and I just want to say, fuck it. How do you prevent yourself from sabotaging yourself because of how tired you are of hustling.
So this is a really good question because nobody has asked a question like that yet, and I think it's going to help a lot.
Because most people don't hustle for that long.
Right.
They quit. You guys aren't those people, though.
Danica, so in order for you to be able to create, I don't want to say balance, I like the word harmonization better, right?
It's an ebb and flow, consistent.
Yes, in order for you to continue to be consistent without you feeling burnt out, you have to be very clear with regards to your boundaries, right? Boundaries of how you lead your life. You know, we were talking about it on the call in the inner circle last night. You know, we were talking about the concept of significance and leadership, right? Like, weight loss is a journey of you leading yourself to be your best you, right? So something that you have to be very like, you have to continuously evolve with and progress with is your boundaries. Like, for example, setting a nutritional standard, that's a boundary, right? Like, for example, I'm not gonna eat cake on a Tuesday. I don't care who made it, right? I will say no. Or another boundary is I'm not gonna eat snacks at night. Or another boundary is I'm only gonna eat my meals. However, so many people only look at the physical and then they don't look at other aspects of their life. Like, you know, let's say time away from your phone, right? Like, do you have a time in which you unplug from the world and you're like, this is my time for me and my family and nobody else gets to be me because and nobody else gets access to me? Because here's the thing, especially if you're a woman, chances are is that you're so used to giving. But if
anybody wonders where the bear is coming from, it's over there.
You're so sweet. But if you give and you don't fill up your own cup, guess what? There's going to be nothing to pour. So you have to be very clear with regards to, you know, your own personal boundaries. You know, like morning routine, all these things, like, you know, how you spend your time. You guys, the life in which you want to live is basically the life that you have to learn to lead. But in order for you to get there, that is all a matter of how you spend your time, right? So you have to set very strict boundaries with regards to how you spend your time.
I have another little bit to add.
Yeah.
So we think often all or nothing. And it sounds like maybe you're on the all half of this, you know, at this point, and it's kind of like you're still just hanging on, but like you have so many cravings and you still you just like want to go like hog wild on something because you're just over it. Now it brings me back to when I was training for a figure competition, which I'm very grateful for how it fucked me for like 5 or more years afterwards. In the moment I wasn't, but I'm grateful now that I have that experience because I was training, hours of cardio, very limited carbs, very regimented, had to go to bed at a certain time. The boyfriend I had at the time called me Cinderella because if I didn't go to bed at a certain time, he said I was going to turn into a pumpkin, which is very accurate. So I was like, get the fuck out of my space, I gotta go to bed. And it's exhausting. You have no life. All you're thinking, you think, you breathe, and you live this structure, this regimented, not fun, no drinking, whatever. Maybe you get a cheat meal. But you're living so regimented and so strict for where you're currently at in your journey that you get sick of it, right? Who's done keto or who's gone all in on something like, I'm going to try this new thing and I'm going to start Monday and I got my groceries and I did my meal prep and everything's written out and I'm really motivated because it's Sunday night and first I'm going to eat this box of chocolates so that it's gone and then I don't have it for the rest of the week. But I'm really motivated and then you go all in, right? I'm not wrong, I know. And then what happens is we reach a point where we're just like, man, this is so exhausting. So what you have to do is learn Okay, I've said this a couple times and it's really money. I was actually making an ad video and I think I said it like last week because it's awesome. Most people try to mold their life around a program, and you need to mold something else around your life because your life isn't going to stop happening. You can't expect to change every aspect of your life to fit around some kind of perfect mold of keto or intermittent fasting or paleo or Whole30 or Atkins or Weight Watchers or whatever it is, right? You have to learn how to mold your own structure around your life. You're busy. You're always going to be busy. Guess what? There's never going to be a not busy time. Because when you're not busy, you're scrolling through your phone. You're busy scrolling through your phone. Or you're busy watching TV. Right? No matter what, we all want to be busy in some way or another. We're all busy anyways. The other thing is unexpected things are always going to happen in life. Forever. For your entire life. That's life. So we have to learn in these scenarios, what do I need to do to keep myself, for one, sane, for two, on the right path, and for three, consistent, right? So there has to be allowance for certain things, and these allowances depend on where you're starting and what you're used to. If you're used to eating fast food 5 days a week, then it is absolutely bonkers to think that we could tell you to never eat fast food.
Can you pause?
Yes, pausing.
So something that this industry fails to do, and why we see so many people fail even if they've achieved a certain level of success. Look, it doesn't matter where you're at today. What matters is where you're at a year from now, 10 years from now, right? The biggest thing that this industry fails to achieve is to teach you how to set goals and how to, envision future living, right? Like, I see so many women fucking running miles on end, like basically running themselves crazy, not achieving anywhere because, dude, you don't know where you're going or why you're doing it. It's important to set your goals so that you know why you're doing what you're doing and where it is that you want to go. And here's why this is important. Like Erin said, you need to give yourself an allowance in life, right? Whether it's an allowance to how long you're going to spend time on social media, or what is going to be your wine intake, or what is going to be your treat intake. However, you need to do it in a way that will be sustainable with regards to, let's say, where your future self 1 year from now wants to be. Because here's the thing, you have to make a sacrifice. If you don't make a sacrifice, or if the sacrifice is unsustainable, you're gonna burn out. And that is why so many of you guys are here, because you were all or nothing, right? Like, you weren't taught, you weren't being asked the question, where do you want to be 1 year from now, right? So you're like, I'm gonna cut carbs, I'm gonna cut alcohol, I'm gonna train 7 days per week. And I'm like, whoa, pump the brakes. Can you see yourself being able to sustain that for 1 year? Well, no. Well, why should we start there? It's almost like, imagine that your body and you are a car, right? Would you be able to drive your car at full speed all the way from LA to New York? Well, no. Well, what makes you think that you can do that? You can't, right? So knowing where you want to go and being so clear about it is such an important skill, and it's something that you have to do because it allows you, it defines the guidelines that you have to follow through in order to keep moving forward at a sustainable pace. It's all about being able to move forward at a sustainable pace. I don't care how fast you're moving. If you're going to stall, then you're losing, dude. And that's the concept that you guys keep on, making fun of me of the tortoise and the hare. I would rather one of my students start at 10 miles an hour and sustain that for 2 months, right? Than starting at 100 miles an hour and fall out in a week. And so many of you guys are pros at doing that. Don't try to get credit for, oh, I worked out 7 days per week and I'm not eating any macros. Yeah, well, why are you doing that? But it's because you're not clear on where you want to go to, and also, why is that important to you? Because there are going to be days where shit's going to be hard. You saw me on Saturday. On Saturday, I was being tested by the universe in every single, element throughout the day, and I was ready to quit 100 times. But my why is so freaking strong, and I know where I want to be 1 year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and therefore I pushed through. And only when you are attached to that, right? For one, you're able to push at a pace that's sustainable, and you're able to overcome the struggles that will come at you every once in a while when they do. That's it.
Resume?
Resume.
First of all, we don't make fun of you, the tortoise and the hare. We make fun of you for how you say the word tortoise.
You're right. That's okay.
Curtis the tortoise in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, I was saying it's bonkers for us to expect you to go so far from what you're normally used to, because you just won't be able to do it. Sarit said a lot of what I was going to say already, which is great, because you can hear it from both of us. It's the same. We're consistent in what we will teach you. You ask one person one question, you ask the other person the same question separately, we're going to give you the same answer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because we lived it and we get it. And this is the part where I tell you that if you've been struggling, it happens to always come up on Tuesdays, which is great. If you have been struggling with an all or nothing mentality, and you've been like running in circles, and you've been starting and stopping and starting and stopping and starting and stopping and wanting to sabotage yourself and getting frustrated and losing a little bit of weight and then gaining it back probably more and then losing and then gaining more and then just kind of like gradually going up, then you need to be in the inner circle. You have to. Yeah. There's no choice. I don't care if it costs you your left arm. I don't care if it costs you you have to sell your car. You have to do it.
It's an investment, but it's stupid cheap for, what
it's stupid cheap for what you get.
Yeah.
Stupid. Like any person who's in inner circle watching this right now, I've asked this question before. Anytime we ask this question, how much would you charge me to take away what you've learned and take away what you've gained? The answer is like, it's not for sale.
Right.
It's not for sale.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, if you do want more information about what the inner circle is about, it's not posted publicly anywhere. We don't hide it, but we don't post it because if we told you the price, quite honestly, the investment you'd have to make, people would be like, oh, I'm not paying that because, I've already done other programs and they haven't worked and blah, blah, blah. And you don't understand how different this is.
Yeah.
So we don't just put it anywhere, because if you saw the price, it would turn you away. But if you knew what you got, you'd be running towards it. You'd be sprinting as fast as you can.
Yep.
Towards it.
100%.
Yes. So I want to actually go back to allowances real quick, and then we'll close it up, because it made me think of what I just did and the goals that I just set for myself. Yeah. I feel very good about myself. I like the way I look. I know, though, that I could be even better, right? And I know that we're also going to Mexico in October. So what I did was I wrote out what my goals are, and in those are my allowances of things. What are the things that you find that you struggle with, that you consume a lot more of than you need to? Give yourself allowances for those things. For me, alcoholic beverages. I gave myself an allowance of 3 per week. Now shit, it only takes a few drinks for me to feel fun, have a good time. So maybe I want to save them all for one day. I don't know. Maybe I want to celebrate one day and be present and just enjoy one. Okay, cool. I don't have to have 3 in a week, but that's my allowance, right? Go ahead.
Can I just thought about something. The difference between a more experienced person and like a newbie or a beginner is that if you get an allowance, and it reminds me like of finances too, like somebody who just gets their credit card and doesn't know shit about finances versus somebody who's pretty well equipped.
I know what you're gonna say.
Somebody who gets an allowance and who is just not intentional or a beginner will
spend it all.
Will spend it all the time.
Every time, spend it all.
So
I have it, I spend it.
An allowance is a target that like this is where you're capped at. Doesn't mean that you have to reach at.
Doesn't mean you have to cap out.
And the same thing with the concept of the stupid fucking like that people like to call treat meal. I like to call it treat meal because if you're cheating, then the intention is wrong and you shouldn't be doing it anyways, right? But like people are like, how often should I have a treat meal? I'm like, for one, it depends on the purpose of it.
Have you ever played Monopoly? You ever play Monopoly? Is cheating a good thing? You get mad. Everybody wants to be the banker because they want to slip themselves some 500s. You know? Cheaters. That's the same concept. Nobody likes a cheater. Okay? So there's no cheat meals. We treat ourselves.
But like somebody who's more experienced is not attached to the cheat meal, but they know what their allowance is, and should the occasion arise,
they take advantage
of it. Just like when we got married. Guess what? I had a glass of Veuve and a piece of cake
on a Thursday.
At noon on a Thursday.
We never do that.
Right? He was intentional.
It was very intentional, yeah.
However, do I just do that? No. Hell no.
Oh. Yeah, you know who the cheaters are in Monopoly because they always want to be the banker. Let me be the banker. I want to be the banker. And then all of a sudden they have all this cash.
The newbies or the amateurs will run out through their allowance way too quick, while the more experienced ones will learn to pace themselves. And also that is why, like, adding training to this entire lifestyle, training is a very small segment of the pie, but like when you train the right way, like in the burn zone, you learn so much about yourself because you learn a lot about your weaknesses. You learn to be patient and overcome it. I mean, the kick throughs, the shoulder taps, come on. I mean, wait till you get to level 3 and you start doing that shit called like crisscross jump ropes, mummy kicks, double unders, the whole ordeal, right?
Wait till we ask you to bust out the whip stick.
But also you learn how to pace yourself. You know, the other day I was training a new client, right? Like there is only a handful of people that we're willing to personally train. They're like family to us, incredibly successful
They've
people.
been with you for years.
They come to our home. Anyways, it was one of my clients' brother, and he almost made it pro to the baseball league, but he hasn't trained for like 4 months. We did intervals that day because I wanted them to go head to head and get. Do you know what happened?
He almost made it to a pro baseball league?
Yes.
Oh wow.
I know, J-Pop told me it was crazy. But after one round of intervals, he was out.
Like white. He turned white.
He's not fit in the sense that he wasn't able to pace himself. Somebody who's more experienced, they know how to pace themselves when they eat a cake. They know how to pace themselves when they do a 5K.
They know how to pace themselves when they have sex.
They know themselves. They have a good sense of self-analysis and self-awareness. And that's why I tell you guys, like, macros ain't the fucking problem. It's about you gaining the tools to think differently so you can act differently. How you do anything is literally how you do anything. Whether it's how you eat a cake, how you drink, you know, your tequila on a Saturday, how you drink your coffee, or anything. How you do anything is how you do everything. It's not about how fast you're able to start, it's how strong you're able to finish.
Oh, Karen Shears in the house. So yeah, anyways.
Back to your allowance.
I mean, that's it. I mean, I have allowances. There's allowances for drinks. There's allowances for Kirkland bars. Because I could slam 2 in a day. They're fucking delicious, and they're easy to eat, and they're fun. Mm-hmm. But I gave myself an allowance of 4 per week. Mm-hmm. And I probably was eating 1 a day, sometimes 2.
Yeah.
So I'm taking myself from like probably 8 to 4. If I want 4. But now what also happens, we're super going off. What also happens then is you appreciate it more.
Yes.
I have a better appreciation for the times that I choose to eat them because I'm not allowing it just all the time. If it's a free for all, there's less value.
Yeah.
Right? It's like when was the last time you said I'm grateful for fresh air? Because we have it. I mean, it's not the greatest quality or as good a quality as it used to be 100 years ago, but when was the last time you were grateful for something that you have access to all the time? Right? So it's nice to create an even more gratitude, right? Like now when I enjoy those 4 or less times per week, I'm going to really enjoy them, right? And I'm also testing out this protein cereal because I know y'all love cereal. Don't lie to me. I know it. It's in our targeting for our ads. Fucking cereal. Yeah. And popcorn. I know. That's why y'all are here. Y'all found us because you like cereal and popcorn. I'm just kidding. Anyways, so with this, cereal, it would be really easy because, it's protein. It'd be really easy for me to slam like multiple bowls. Right? So I need to give myself an allowance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The problem is that health conscious people who are unaware of this level of thinking, they will buy all the better for you stuff, but they don't give themselves an allowance. They don't give themselves an allowance that's sustainable. Your allowance today and your allowance 3 months from now and next year could be the same, but if you're just getting started or if you have ways to go in your weight loss journey, then it's going to change. Expect it to change. But I think it's because most people, when they have weight to lose, they're in so much pain, they just want to get there. But guess what? It didn't take your body overnight to get to that size. And if you just realize that, then that just goes to show you how out of touch you are with how you live. So it didn't happen overnight, and it's not going to happen overnight. So like changing everything at once is completely unsustainable and foolish, because if you can't keep up with it 1 month from now, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, then I don't even care how well you did today, because today is going to end in less than 16 hours. That's it.
I keep thinking about how you hit me for talking about targeting. So for 1 second, I want to say how I'm going to be fully transparent. When you make ads,
I didn't hit you. I tapped you. I'm like, this conversation is not about like how we get to them.
Right,
but it's true. But you have to know our people.
But here's the thing, right? So I love popcorn. I love cereal. And I know that the people that we will be able to serve are the people who will relate to us the most.
Right.
Right? So that's really the point of that. It's like, guess what? Because of those ads, is anybody mad that they saw one of our ads and we put in targeting that would show our ad to you? Is anybody mad about it? No. But it's amazing because we get to help a larger amount of people who will appreciate the information that we have to share. So anyways, I love cereal. And I could eat it every day like a fucking kid. Because I am.
And I do too, but it's not in my allowance because it's a matter of self-analysis too. So I know we went over a lot today. We hope that you guys benefited from this and you found value from today's conversation. Just a reminder that today is day 16 of the In Motion Challenge, okay? This challenge is amazing because it teaches you discipline, because I guarantee you that there was at least one day so far in those 16 days that you didn't feel like working out, but you had to. I know that for me it happened at least once, right? Discipline is a muscle that you have to develop, just like every other muscle. But it is the most important muscle to develop, because if you develop that muscle, developing everything else will be a lot simpler.
What should be the strongest muscle in your body? Your discipline.
Your brain.
Your brain, because your brain determines the level of discipline that
right.
You're right. Maybe your heart, because you wouldn't be alive. This is a debatable topic and doesn't even matter, off topic. Okay, guys, we love you. Thank you so much. Today is day 15.
16.
16?
Yeah.
It's counting is hard. Today, you're right. My phone is right there.
Yes, 16.
Today's day 16 of the In Motion Challenge. Guys, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 6 days. Some of y'all are on the East Coast and you already did it. 5 days.
Some of them are on the West Coast and they did it.
Some of you guys are in Scotland or Australia.
And you're about to go to sleep.
Go night-night.
Just kidding. Or have your evening coffee. Whatever it is that you're about to do, we wish you guys an amazing day. Tomorrow is our Wealth Wednesday conversations. We're looking forward to seeing you then. But in the meantime,
Boogie's going to bring his piggy bank.
Yes.
He found
kissing boost.
He found a quarter this weekend. And so he put it on his piggy bank.
Yes, he did.
All right, guys. Have yourself an amazing Tuesday. Maybe eat some tacos, maybe don't. I don't know. But we will see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Bye.